Hey everybody, 93 Monster Mike here. This time I have a tour review for the Trendmasters Living Zilla figure. The reason I'm doing this figure today is because today marks the 15th anniversary that the movie he was in was released. Now I'll admit I did not see it in theaters, but I did see it sometime later thanks to a very loving cousin when I was about 4 years old at the time. But I first heard about this movie because of this particular figure. I was in Michigan at the time. I saw this figure with my mom, and I thought it was Godzilla because it read that. Press the button on his chest here. He roared like this. I got really excited. I then got it later. Then when I saw the movie, I was like, what the heck? He's not acting like the actual Japanese Godzilla. And I was a bit disappointed, but I was intrigued by his look. He really did look a lot to me like an actual T-Rex or some other theropod dinosaur. Now, I'm sure everyone's well aware of the movie since it's the only American Godzilla movie that has been released so far, thanks to Legendary. But anyway, it's been about 15 years, guys. Come on, show him just a little bit of respect, okay? I mean, without we wouldn't have Godzilla 2000 and the rest of those movies, okay? Plus, the animated series was pretty cool. But anyway, with regards to detail, it is really, really nice. Thanks to Trendmasters, who made such excellent Godzilla figures back in the 90s. Too bad they're out of business, and now their figures, they're pretty expensive. But yeah, the detail in here is really nice. You got every single scale and spine. The tail really does feel a bit like an alligator. Sorry about that, Deadzilla. But I do agree with Deadzilla's thought that his tail really does, like, from here to the tip, does feel a lot like an alligator. Like actual alligator scales. I can even see some osteoderms right there. There's his T-Rex legs, even though some people call them chicken legs. He's got some pretty good muscle definition, like in the pecs, bicep, tricep, forearms. There's his iguana-like neck, even though marine iguanas don't really have them. And there's his head, tongue. They even put detail into the mouth. Here's the spines, which slightly look a bit like the Japanese Godzillas, like you see a sprout here and there, but not that much. So detail on this figure is very, very well done. As for superpowers, well, everybody knows that this guy, he's a wimp! All he can do is run anywhere from 200 to 300 miles an hour, burrow like Baragon. He can swim like a crocodile. And this version can reproduce asexually, which is pretty common in some species of lizard. And he does have this flammable breath that is actually on fire if there's a spark. You know, like, it's like he burps methane gas or something. But other than that, he really doesn't have that many superpowers. For posability, he has swivel arms, swivel thighs at the hip, ratchet joint at the knee, swivel at the ankle, a bit of a swivel in the waist, but that's all because of the action feature, and a swivel in the tail. Now, what did I mean by the waist? Well, if you remember from earlier, push this button. Yeah, he roars and opens his mouth and twists. Yeah, I haven't really done that action for this toy in quite a while, because I don't really play with him that much. He's just like a display figure. I usually don't keep the batteries in any electronic figure that I'm not really going to use. But anyway, on to sizing. Seeing as I do have the actual King of the Monsters, here is the large-scale Bandai Creation Final Wars Godzilla, and they did fight in the 2004 movie Final Wars, and he whooped his butt. So scaling, they're basically looking eye to eye, and I think this is okay. Even though Zilla should have been like this tall, but I like this. I think Zilla should be like not as tall, but around Godzilla's height, but just not that much. Like maybe 320 feet or so. I think that would be okay. So, yeah, the King and the Imposter. Pretty good scaling. As for rarity of this figure, well, my best guess would be to find them on eBay, but prices could be anywhere from $45 to maybe even $120. If it was still mint in box, maybe $120 or so. But I've had this figure since around the time the movie was released, so it's one of the oldest figures in my collection. And if you're looking to get a figure to complete your Final Wars collection, I'd highly recommend you get this figure to complete your Bandai Creation Final Wars thing. Like if you got this Godzilla and the Bandai Creation Gigan, who I did not bring with me at the time. But, anyway, I really recommend you get this figure if you can find it for a cheap price. Feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe. And subscribe to 93 Monster Mike for more videos. Also, happy birthday. Happy 15th birthday, Zilla. This has been 93 Monster Mike again. And I'll be seeing you guys later.